Welcome, glad you could join us. Today we're exploring Seth's The Nature of Personal Reality. And we're doing a really focused deep dive today, specifically into the source material from Chapter 5, that's the one called The Constantly Creating Body. Our mission, really, is to get grips with this pretty radical idea that Seth puts forward. What if your deepest thoughts, the ones you think all the time, what if they are the actual blueprints? You know, the moment-by-moment instructions for your physical body, your health, maybe even how long you live. We're trying to find that hidden operating manual.
Yeah, it definitely forces you to rethink things, the whole mind-matter relationship.
Yeah.
So today we'll synthesize some core Seth concepts, like how consciousness acts as a filter, not just a creator. And we'll look at this idea of inner sound and these non-physical structures that are supposedly rebuilding your body constantly. Sounds maybe a bit out there, but it's presented as a practical look at how belief becomes biology.
Okay, let's start with that filter idea, because that seems foundational, right? If we get that, the rest flows from it. Seth says the conscious mind is just a part of the wider inner eye, or inner self, a specialized part. But if that inner self knows everything, why have a conscious mind filtering things? Why the limitation?
Well, according to the text, it's purely for efficiency and focus. The conscious mind's job is very specifically deal effectively with material reality, the physical world around you. To get that sharp focus you need for survival, like not stepping into traffic or just remembering basic daily tasks, it has to block out tons of other data, non-material stuff.
Ah, okay. So it's not the source of creativity itself. It's more like the gatekeeper, deciding what gets through from that bigger inner eye.
Exactly. The gatekeeper, or maybe the editor, it decides which information, which creative impulses get the green light for physical manifestation.
Yeah.
Your inner eye, according to this, always has access to total vitality, perfect health information, but your conscious beliefs control the pipeline. Seth actually calls conscious beliefs the great liberator, or the suppressor.
So if I consciously believe deep down that getting sick every winter is just inevitable.
Then that belief acts as a command. It tells the inner eye, essentially, cut off the supply of data related to perfect winter health. You suppress the potential.
Okay, wow. That leads us right into the next big piece. The belief as the blueprint. If this framework holds, Seth is saying you literally form your reality through belief, and the most immediate thing you create is your own body.
Yes, that's the claim. The unconscious processes the stuff automatically handling atoms and molecules to build you. They aren't random. They follow a continuous blueprint. And that blueprint is constantly generated by your beliefs and assumptions about what and who you are. Your body becomes, in this view, like a living sculpture reflecting those core beliefs.
That really changes how you might think about illness, doesn't it? Or chronic conditions. Is Seth suggesting that something like chronic back pain might not just be mechanical wear and tear, but maybe a physical manifestation of a belief, like feeling unsupported or burdened?
That's definitely the implication woven through this chapter. The practical side for you, the listener, is this. If you want to genuinely change your physical reality, say, heal something persistent, or change your weight significantly, improve how you feel physically, you must change the underlying conscious belief first. You have to hold that new blueprint firmly in mind, even when your current physical body is yelling the opposite message at you.
Right, that's the tricky part, holding the vision against the evidence. And the text does acknowledge limits, right? Like, you probably won't sprout wings no matter how hard you believe.
Yes. Physical laws still apply within the framework. Adult height is mentioned as an example, but within those broad limits, consistent belief is presented as incredibly powerful for altering health, appearance, energy levels.
Okay, belief is the blueprint, but how does that blueprint, that stream of I am healthy or I am tired, actually get delivered to the cells, to the atoms? Is it just thinking pictures?
This is where the concept of inner sound comes in. It's described as the communication mechanism. Thoughts, Seth says, have an electromagnetic reality, sure, but they also have this inner sound value. It's separate from external noise, even separate from the voice you hear in your head.
So it's not like hearing a sound, more like a vibration, a frequency.
Kind of. Think of it less as something you'd perceive with your ears and more like a specific energetic frequency, a unique command code for each thought or belief. And this frequency is key because you're constantly broadcasting these beliefs, these instructions, these codes to your inner eye. And that, in turn, influences how your physical form is constructed and maintained. So in a very real sense, you speak your body into being internally.
Let's make that practical. Say I genuinely feel wiped out after a long day. I think, God, I'm exhausted. I feel like I'm falling apart.
Okay, in that moment, according to this model, That negative suggestion, with its specific inner sound value, is instantly transmitted. It reinforces the state of exhaustion at a deep level.
So the remedy isn't just to ignore the feeling, but to actively counter-program.
Exactly. You recognize the negative assessment. The fatigue is real, but you deliberately avoid strengthening it with the corresponding negative thought sound. Instead, you actively introduce a counter-instruction. Maybe focus on the idea, the feeling, that your body can begin resting and renewing itself right now.
And if you're constantly sending mixed signals, like, I want to be healthy, but also, I always get sick.
That creates what Seth calls inner noise pollution. Confused instructions. The blueprint becomes garbled, and the body receives conflicting, unhelpful directions.
Okay, taking this idea further, it dramatically reframes the role of medicine, doesn't it?
It does. Seth suggests that a really effective doctor, maybe without even consciously knowing this framework, is fundamentally a belief changer. Their real skill isn't just the procedure or the pill, it's their ability to help the patient replace the core belief, I am sick, with a new, powerful conviction, I am healthy, or I am healing.
Without that belief shift, the treatment might only offer temporary relief or just not work as expected.
That's the suggestion. The belief is the governing factor.
And this leads to a pretty strong critique in the source material about labeling diseases.
Yes, labeling is seen as potentially harmful. Why? Because it denies the fluid, dynamic nature of the mind-body connection. A label can feel very fixed, very solid.
It can make the patient feel powerless, right? Like they're under attack by this thing, this label, arthritis, flu, whatever, rather than seeing as a manifestation of an internal state that can change.
Precisely. It externalizes the condition and assigns it power.
Mm-hmm.
Once you accept that label deeply, your inner eye gets the message, okay, this is the blueprint now. And it starts faithfully manifesting the symptoms associated with that label.
That feels like a heavy responsibility. We need to be careful here. Is Seth saying people consciously choose to get seriously ill? That sounds dangerously close to blaming the victim.
The text is careful to frame it more subtly. It's generally not a conscious, I want this disease kind of choice. It's presented as stemming from much deeper, often unconscious belief systems, maybe about self-worth or fear or deeply ingrained anxieties that eventually find physical expression. So the model insists you choose which illnesses manifest. But that choice operates at a profound, often non-conscious level based on your core assumptions about reality and yourself.
So if you truly believe, deep down, that you're fundamentally healthy and resilient,
then that belief acts as a shield. The conscious belief system prevents the inner eye from ever receiving or acting upon a blueprint for illness in the first place.
the example used for this kind of belief interaction is eyeglasses, which is quite memorable.
Right. The idea presented is that in many cases of minor vision issues, if left alone, the eyes might naturally self-correct over time. The body seeks balance.
The glasses offer an immediate fix, an external crutch.
And by relying on the crutch, the person reinforces the belief, my eyes are faulty, and only this external device can fix them.
So the belief in the need for the external fix actually solidifies the physical problem, preventing the body's natural self-correction.
That's the argument. Belief locks the door on the body's innate capacity to adjust.
Okay, let's dive even deeper then into this unseen architecture Seth talks about. The physical body doesn't just float in space. It exists within these non-physical structures made of inner sound, light, electromagnetic properties.
Yes, that's the description. And crucially, any physical issue, like an illness or injury, is said to manifest first in these non-physical energetic structures. The physical body is the final printout.
Which brings us to incipient matter. Can you unpack that?
Thoughts themselves are described as formative images. They act like little energy collectors. A mental image isn't just a picture in your head. It's a potent combination of inner sound, light values, and electromagnetic properties. It is literally matter in its earliest incipient stage.
Embryonic matter.
Kind of. It's matter actively seeking physical form, gathering the energy it needs to manifest.
So if I vividly imagine my sprained ankle being fully healed, strong, flexible, that mental image isn't just wishful thinking.
According to Seth, no. It's the actual raw material of the healed ankle existing in that non-physical structure. It's the new blueprint waiting to be energized.
And how does it get energized?
Emotion. Strong emotion and imagination are the fuel. They provide the driving force, the thrust, needed to propel that incipient matter, that blueprint, into physical reality.
Okay, practical application time again. Let's say you have chronic pain in your foot, constantly focusing on it, checking how much it hurts, complaining about it internally.
You're essentially reinforcing the painful foot blueprint in that unseen structure. You're keeping the energy focused on the existing symptom
So you have to somehow shift your focus away from the current reality of the pain.
and focus instead on the desired reality, the healed state. You have to change the mental image and attach positive, hopeful emotion to it. That's what fuels the change.
It requires vigilance against reinforcing the negative.
Definitely. And on a related practical note, Seth mentions the OM sound. Remember that?
Oh yeah, the chanting.
Right. Slowly sounding O-M-M-M during quiet times. The claim is that this specific sound, its inherent inner sound vibration, naturally promotes vigor and well-being.
Like it bypasses conscious negativity and just injects a positive creative energy.
Something like that. An inherent energetic momentum towards health.
Okay, bringing this back to the body's mechanics, we need to stress again. The body isn't static. It's not winding down.
No, it's perpetually rebuilt. Atoms, molecules, constantly replaced, based on the blueprint it receives right now.
And this constant creation helps explain that weird time delay scientists observe at nerve synapses.
Exactly. There's a measurable gap, a tiny delay, as the physical signal crosses the neuronal gap. But the inner message, the core instruction, decoded into its sound, light, electromagnetic pattern that arrives instantly.
So the non-physical instruction gets there first. The physical body, the nerves, are actually playing catch-up.
That's the model. The non-physical structure, the inner body pattern, reacts first to any stimulus, internal or external. It initiates the physical reaction that follows.
Your perception of anything out there has to filter through these instantaneous internal channels first.
Correct. Consciousness is primary.
Which leads to the ultimate takeaway, really. Your consciousness existed before this body, chose its basic form, and through your ongoing beliefs.
You continuously dictate how that structure functions. Even the systems we call involuntary, like heartbeat, digestion, they're not truly involuntary.
They're faithfully reflecting your deepest, moment-by-moment intentions or beliefs about being alive.
That's the core message of this chapter.
Wow. Okay, so we've really dived into these belief blueprints today. The body isn't just this thing we live in, it's our most immediate feedback system, constantly translating our inner world thoughts, beliefs, emotions into physical reality.
It is. And maybe here's a final thought to leave you with, tying back to that idea of emotional fuel. Seth makes this incredible claim. The energy contained within a single strong emotion is potentially far greater than the energy needed to send a rocket to the moon.
That's a lot of energy.
It is. So considering that, ask yourself this. How much of your own powerful emotional energy are you, maybe unconsciously, directing towards reinforcing a negative belief or a physical condition you don't want? And then flip it. What amazing new outer reality, better health, different circumstances could you potentially launch if you learn to consciously redirect that immense power toward a focused, desired blueprint?
That's a powerful question indeed, something to really sit with. Thank you for exploring the blueprints of personal reality with us today. We hope you'll continue the exploration. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.